Again, a reminder coming up next on CBS Survivor, the Australian Outback, as we welcome you back to the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl today. Post-game show. Survivor minutes away. Let's go back up to the play-by-play booth with Greg and Phil for some final thoughts. Gentlemen?
All right, Jim, thank you. You know, we've tried to figure out exactly where it was we went wrong in figuring how this game was going to go, and we figured we should just learn to trust ourselves because all year long we knew how good that Baltimore defense was. We just should have believed it. 57 opponents' drives in the postseason, they allowed 1 touchdown.
You know, Greg, and also you look at the Baltimore Ravens winning the Super Bowl. What's it mean? Think about it. As a player, when the game is over, you look at all your teammates and coaches, you see those smiles on their faces, and you know what? Those smiles will forever be in your mind. And whenever you see, if I see one of my old teammates, it could be 20 years later, the same thing's going to happen to the Ravens. They're going to think back to this moment and go, that was pretty special winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You have a good time this season?
Wonderful time. Good being with you, Greg.
Me too. Back to Jim Nance.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. And fellas, been with you every week since late August, and it's been a ball. Down the line one more time. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next season, gentlemen. Tonight's impressive victory represents the crowning achievement for Art Modell and his storied franchise. Hall of Famers like Jim Brown, Lou Groza, Ozzie Newsome in their rich, storied history. 5 years ago, he relocated his team from Cleveland, and now he has given football mad Maryland its first championship in 30 years. The Ravens that Baltimore fans have embraced earned their crown with a dominating record-setting defense anchored by MVP Ray Lewis. Sparkling special teams play that should not be overlooked from another Lewis, Jermaine, and by an emotional and resourceful quarterback, Trent Dilfer, who proves tonight in Tampa that, yes, you can come home again. So congratulations to the Super Bowl champion, Baltimore Ravens. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Super Bowl 35. And for all the men and women here at CBS Sports, I'm Jim Nance. Thanks for being with us. Good night from Tampa, Florida.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the National Football League on CBS Sports.
Under completely different circumstances for Ray Lewis. He's the champ. He's the MVP. He's with our Andrea Kramer.
Congratulations to Ray Lewis, the Super Bowl. Okay, you're smiling at that. At what point did you know you had wrapped up that honor?
Oh, I didn't. The crazy part about it, me and Rod Wilson was on the sideline. We was like saying, Rod kept saying, I wonder who they gonna give it to. You know, everybody made plays, especially on defense. I mean, over and over and over. I mean, 3, 4 interceptions. So when they said my name, it was like, wow, you know. I know I played a, good game, but to get MVP is a great honor.
At what point did you know that this Super Bowl win was the Ravens?
Hey, the thing is, we said it all week, and people called it boasting. They called it bragging. They called it whatever we wanted. But we came down here to do one thing, and that's win a ring. And now we have that.
We looked at some tape of you back in training camp when you talked to your teammates, and even back in August, you said, I got to get to Tampa. How focused have you been on this goal the entire season?
That was my thing. Anthony Poindexter said something that was, I guess, a write-off when he said, your back should be tired, because I told him, I'll put you guys on my back. It doesn't matter. I know I'm not a one-man wrecking crew, but one thing I can do, if I can get everybody playing along with me to have that fire in their eyes, we got an easy chance of getting to Tampa.
So much.
An amazing, thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Ray. Congratulations. An amazing, amazing story. Tom, the way he plays middle linebacker, which I remember one tackle there, he got like, one arm on Tiki Barber, he just went down. I mean, he was from behind in one arm and he goes down. I mean,
first of all, I said if the Ravens won, that Ray Lewis would be the MVP, and I preached that all week. But what makes Ray a great linebacker, and one of the great middle linebackers to ever play, is that he does everything well. When you watch him move around the football field, whether it's putting pressure on the passer or covering a receiver or making a tackle or pursuing to the ball.
There's the play we talked about.
And look at the play on Tiki Barber. Tiki is about to turn the corner, and all of a sudden Ray Lewis gets that arm on him. He's as sure a tackler as we've ever seen in football and a high-impact hitter. And then you add to that the fact that he's a great leader as well.
Steve, I mean, you look at him play football, I mean, you could see it when he came out. I mean, he's in a different world, which many players aren't, but I think his world may be different from those.
Yeah, but I reiterate that this is the ultimate team game. Football 11 is a lot of guys to get together. Yes. And the one thing that Ray has is a tremendous, and he's a great star in football. It's by definition, he has a great supporting cast. Look at the guys around him making plays, hitting Kerry Collins early in the end zone. It's like everywhere, Boulware, Sharper, McAllister, Rod Woodson. I mean, these are guys that are great football players. So I think they actually, what we talked about earlier, quarterback needs to be protected. He is the quarterback, you know, but he gets great protection. And I mean, look at, you look about Kurt Warren last year. One thing about all the things he did, he had great protection. Yes. Ray Lewis is the quarterback of this team, and he gets a lot of help. All the credit to Ray, but let's not forget all those guys around him that really make this dynamic defense.
I will say this, though. As we watch the game, you watch the emotion of the Ravens defense. He is the catalyst for that emotion. When you see one of their guys make a play, you see him go up, you see him leap on him, you see him hug him, you see him driving them emotionally.
We will talk with the Giants, what happened to them, a team that won 41-0 2 weeks ago, and we'll talk more about the world champions, Baltimore Ravens, when we return on NFL Prime Time. 4 picks by the Raven defense. They were omnipresent. When he disintegrated into a Super Bowl record-tying 4 interceptions, joining Bledsoe and Kelly and Tom, I think you remember that one, Craig Morton for the Denver Broncos. The New York Giants had a wonderful season. They became a very, very nice team in a conference, your conference, Steve, that had an unbelievable down season. And what happened?
Well, the other 2 Giants teams that came here to play the Super Bowl did not turn the ball over. And I think going up against Ray Lewis and this defense, you could not come in and turn it over 5 times and expect to have a chance to win.
Could they do anything different, Steve?
Well, I thought the game plan was dynamic. It was all the things we talked about. Jim Fossil and Sean Payton came up with it. It's just that Kerry Collins didn't execute it.
Going backwards. Of course, you could be intimidated very easily by the Ravens defense. Turnovers, never the way to go. When we return, more sound. We'll talk to the players here from the champion Ravens and perhaps some Giants. Passing. They all got quiet, didn't they, when the Ravens players? So, the bravado and everything else of the Ravens, it all got a little quiet. And you guys, certainly, Steve, you can remember that feeling. And I know you know the feeling of the Giants, son. But we started to talk. The Giants had a chance, even with the kickoff return at 17-7, or is this kind of a foolish conversation to say that?
No,
where were the throws to the numbers, Steve?
Well, to me, the biggest plays, we talked about it earlier, the screen pass where they call on Hamilton. We never see that happen. Yeah. I've over the years, I've had that happen to me 20 times, and Dilfer threw it right to him with 7-7 game. But we talk about the Giants' offense. I saw all the things about. We've had the right kind of formation changes. We spread it out. We had Camella in motion. We had Mitchell in motion. We had all the right things. Kerry Collins moving the pocket, throwing on first down. It just didn't get executed. And even at halftime, I said to myself, if they can start making a couple plays, they can win this football game. It just never got on track. And then Kerry started throwing into people's chests. And I really think the turning point was right before half. They drove the ball, maybe making it 10-3, 10-7. They ran that little tight end Dino route that they ran against the Vikings so well. And I don't think Kerry really looked up. I think he said, oh, it'll work. Maybe even Jim or Sean said, it'll work. He threw it in there, double coverage, and they got nothing out of it. So 10-0 at halftime. I thought it was a big turning point.
You know what's interesting? Rod Woodson, it's one of the things we talked about on the Swami. He's already been on the 75th anniversary team, which is, by the way, a ticket to the Hall of Fame. And now here, 5-6 years later, as he gets his first Super Bowl ring, he's with our Ed Woodard.
Thanks. I'm with Rod Woodson. Rod, Shannon Sharp just said that there's no doubt this is the greatest defense that's ever played football. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, if you really look at the scores, 34-7, they didn't score on their defense. We played a hell of a game on defense.
Is that what you were trying to do, was to leave your indelible mark defensively on this game?
We wanted a shutout. I mean, we believe in this football team. We believe we have a lot of confidence. And we believe when we go out, we can shut any football team out. They are a good football team. I mean, New York Giants got here for a reason. But we're here for a reason also.
Your 2 young corners that you've mentored made huge interceptions in this game. What did you try and tell them going in?
Hey, just play your game. I mean, these guys have picked it up so much in the playoffs. And I told them each year, the better they get, the better this defense is going to play year in and year out.
Ray Lewis being selected MVP after the way his year started. How was he able to maintain his focus?
I mean, it's a dream season for Ray. Being named, defensive MVP of this year, defensive player of the year. coming out here playing a good game, a solid game for us. You know, he has to knock down, gave Jamie a sharper opportunity to get an interception and turn that one back into some points. He's played a good game today. He was flying around to the football. It's a dream season for the guy. I mean, he really got the MVP at a Super Bowl.
Okay, Rod Woodson, his dream complete, too. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Ed, Rod, congratulations. So, the Baltimore Ravens joined the Denver Broncos in 1997 and the 1980 Oakland Raiders as the wild card teams that won that first game at home and then took the road route and won the Super Bowl. Technically, you could say the 69 Chiefs are in there too. But hey, it's a tough route to take. Another way to show how tough the Ravens were. When we return, we'll hear from the G-Men. We'll be back.
I